This is PIX on Politics with Dan Mannarino.
And welcome to PIX on Politics, everybody. I am Dan Mannarino, and the race for New York City mayor is getting interesting. It's narrowing. It's a wild week. The independent longshot Jim Walden dropping out this week, encouraging the remaining candidates to focus on defeating Zohran Mamdani. That leaves four men in the race for now. The Democratic frontrunner, Zohran Mamdani, of course, Andrew Cuomo, Republican Curtis Sliwa, and Mayor Eric Adams running on the independent line like Andrew Cuomo. But new reports this week really created a buzz, claiming President Trump's administration is making offers to Sliwa and Adams to stack the odds in favor of Andrew Cuomo in an effort to defeat Mamdani. Those reports have been denied by the candidates, but the future of the race, it is uncertain. And we have a team of reporters and analysts who have been tracking the very active campaign trail and the whiplash of a week. We're kicking things off with our PIX panel. And joining me this week, PIX 11 senior political reporter Henry Rossoff, professor at Mount St. Vincent University and host of Centered, a new podcast. Congrats on the podcast, JC Polanco, and political reporter and co-author of the New York Playbook, Jeff Colton. Great to have all three of you here.
Great to be here.
Everybody okay? Everybody okay?
Are you okay, Dan?
It's been a week. It's been a week. We got our phones close by because the updates are happening by the minute. Let's begin right now, guys, with the allegations of President Trump meddling in the New York City mayoral race. Sliwa and Adams both denying this. I spoke to John Catsimatidis about his phone call with the president. He says, yeah, he does want it to become a two-man race, but stop short of saying who the president actually wants to step down. We heard that from the president himself. Henry, the president meddling now in a New York City election, unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but so is this transcendent, unheard of candidacy from Zohran Mamdani, who the president derogatorily likes to call a communist. Let's begin with the very latest reporting. From the Adams campaign, a statement directly from the candidate himself, Mayor Eric Adams. He says no formal offer has been made at this time as we speak on Friday, but that he would always listen to potential calls to serve his country. So that's the first crack sort of in the language and the rhetoric that Mayor Adams using that maybe shows an openness to moving on. But on the Curtis Sliwa front, he's been consistent for some time. He said, even if the president called me, I would not tell him that I would step aside. I'm running as the Republican.
Spoke to Curtis Sliwa on Thursday on PIX on Politics Daily. He said that I absolutely am not doing this. Let me play a soundbite from Eric Adams from my conversation with him earlier in the week about the fact that he may or may not drop out of the race. Be very clear, because I know you're staying in the race till November.
Dan, I said that over and over again, and it didn't satisfy you last month. It didn't satisfy you the previous month. It's not going to satisfy you
Mr. Mayor,
this month.
just to be fair, I did ask you a number of times if you were running as a Democrat, and you always said, yes, I am, and then you went independent.
No, Dan, I'm still a Democrat, Dan.
Basically, his story changes by the moment. So, Jeff, let me bring you in, because your reporting is very interesting about, which is matching with the New York Times reporting, about a potential ambassadorship. Earlier in the week, it was a potential HUD position.
That's right.
That's changing by the day.
The reporting, I mean, to put it simply, is that everything is changing. There's lots of advisors around President Trump. Everybody is looking, scheming, thinking about basically how can you get Eric Adams a job to, help a political ally, and then also how can you help clear the field in order to better defeat Mamdani. And like you said, I mean, Trump, there were days of reporting, and then Trump just said it. He's like, yes, that is correct. I do want to clear the field. I want a one-on-one race. He didn't say who, but probably we're thinking it would be Andrew Cuomo because he's leading in the polls right now. He would likely have the best shot at defeating Mamdani. Not to say that would be a guarantee by any means. I mean, its political dynamics are, difficult.
Right, and that's where the analysis comes in, JC, right? Because here we are, right? And Andrew Cuomo saying, I don't know anything about this. I have no idea what President Trump wants, and I will be his foe. But
specifically saying he hasn't spoken
with the president, right? What do you make of all of this from your looking in as an independent, as the political analyst here?
I'm curious as to why President Trump would get involved, considering how incredibly wealthy it would be for Republicans next year in the midterm elections to have a Mayor Mamdani. Mayor Mamdani guarantees the margin of Democrats taking over the House is small. Mayor Mamdani scares the Senate Democrats in purple states. Mayor Mamdani guarantees a President Vance in 2028. And, the only reason I can think about is this. The polls are clear. Mayor Mamdani, Assemblyman Mamdani, still doesn't have half of New York City supporting him in any of these polls.
But no one does.
But we see that there is one candidate that does take it over when it's one-on-one. I know everyone likes to talk about that last week in June closed party primary as if it's the end-all. We got to remind New Yorkers. New York is a lot bigger than just Democrats that vote in primary elections. Independents, Republicans, the Democrats that don't come out in every elections did not come out in this primary. Come out in November.
In fairness, JC, I did hear Andrew Cuomo say that yesterday. He said, and Henry was there for that press conference yesterday as well, that Andrew Cuomo said he didn't have the majority of New Yorkers. But again, no one did. And how come we should believe a poll?
What do you mean?
A two-person. The polls were wrong.
No, many of the polls, but yours was. I thought yours was bad, but yours ended up being good. Remember that? Oh, you remember
It's still the whole round thing that didn't play out. Polls are polls.
Polls are polls. Some are good, but when you look at all of them, it's clear that Assemblyman Mamdani doesn't have the majority. And quite frankly, I just don't see a one-on-one against Assemblyman Mamdani, this city, looking at the mayoralty as on-the-job training for an assemblyman who, quite frankly, does not have any job-relevant experience.
But let's play that all the way out, and let's play that all the way out, because I wonder about the president's motivations here. Seriously, because he's so overwhelmingly unpopular in New York City. So if he clears the field for Andrew Cuomo, and it looks like he cleared the field, whether or not Cuomo is involved, and Cuomo says no, but if that's what it looks like, how does that not help Mamdani, who's trying to paint this narrative? The first thing he said to you, Dan, when he spoke after his primary, when you said, okay, who's your biggest threat, who's your biggest opponent? He said, President Trump, right? And now this looks like, oh, I was absolutely right to be taking on President Trump. This whole dare he made to debate Trump directly, this all feeds into the Mamdani narrative. That's not even analysis. That's just what his campaign is saying. So I don't know that this actually helps anyone besides Mamdani.
Let me ask you, Jeff, because you actually spoke to the mayor right after one of his events the other day about these whole potentials of dropping out. Has his wording, because the wording is very key here, you heard it in the statement, right? Has his wording changed when you were questioning him?
Yes, I mean, we're parsing it very closely, and I guess I need to have the caveat that, I don't know, maybe Eric Adams isn't even thinking as deeply as we are about what he's saying. But yes, he has gone from, I am, totally running for re-election, I have not gotten a HUD job offer, to now like, oh, I've gotten a lot of job offers. He was proud of the fact that he's gotten job offers, in fact. He said, private sector, everyone loves how I run the city, so of course I've gotten job offers. So, I mean, frankly, what the mayor says is only half the story, too, because we're also knowing that he's having separate private conversations about his future. And as you said, I mean, the mayor's story is one thing firm, until it isn't, until it changes.
And to the point is because he came after your reporting and the New York Times reporting saying, wow, journalism has really changed in the standards of reporting. But when he was on our show, I flat out asked him if he met with the Trump administration on Monday, and he would not answer the question, and then it came out that he met with the Trump administration.
That's because you're a great reporter, Dan. But the truth is, politics makes strange bedfellows. Look, it's not that long ago where Republicans supported the Democrat and where Democrats supported Republicans. I remember Mayor Bloomberg running and having a bunch of Democrats supporting him. I remember Rudy Giuliani. I'm older than you guys here.
A different time.
Different times. And now what you have is that Andrew Cuomo is going to need a very large coalition, and that includes people that are independents, people that are disaffected Democrats, establishment Democrats, and maybe some people that like Trump in order to be able to take on Assemblyman Mamdani in November.
Let's not forget the fact Mamdani will also pick up some Republican votes. Not a lot, don't get me wrong, but I mean, voters do not always go by party. Voters are often irrational animals, actors.
In fact, if you look at some of the areas where Mamdani did well in the primary, that was Trump country, such that it is in New York City. Some of those little pockets, there were quite extreme overlaps there, which is very interesting, and that was all the affordability messaging.
The debate over debates. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, right? Okay, Zoran Mamdani committing to only the required 2 campaign finance board debates. That we put out a call to do a debate. Andrew Cuomo challenging him now to 5 debates. Nice. So I asked Andrew Cuomo, why not do just a debate to coalesce, pick one person to coalesce against Mamdani? Here was our exchange.
Would you commit to doing a debate with Eric Adams and with Curtis Lee? Something that you previously said you would do without Mamdani on the stage.
No, I never said I would do it without Mamdani. He has to answer and explain his positions.
Is there something to be said, though, about doing a debate with the 3 of them, or is Mamdani required to be on the stage because it would be pointless to do without?
I would love to see Mamdani. I mean, of course, we're journalists. We want transparency. Yeah. But, I mean, Cuomo himself has set up this almost primary among the non-Mamdani candidates.
Right.
So if he truly believes in that, then he probably should follow through on this. He should be debating. He should be explaining why he is the one to take on Mamdani.
I don't know if it makes political sense considering these poll numbers. Every poll number you see, you have the mayor just dwindling down into single digits, and then no voter that's going to vote for Curtis Lee, who's active, wearing that red beret, is going to vote for Andrew Cuomo. You've heard these two fighting on social media and everywhere. So it may be a complete waste of time unless Assemblyman Mamdani is present. I can see why there will be some hesitation there.
What I would say is that it hurts Cuomo because one of the things he was dinged for during the primary was not being open, not doing events, not doing forums. So if he was to say any place, anytime, anybody, it would at least complete this sort of pivot he's trying to make, being more open, more transparent. And also, let's just not forget the fact that he said he would do it. Now
but Henry, if he goes in a debate with Curtis Lewa and Mayor Adams, if you take a look at some of the stuff that's happening, it's all attack Cuomo. Curtis Lewa is not attacking it the other way around. It's all Cuomo all the time. So he goes in there, he'll be the piñata for the next 45 minutes.
It wouldn't be Mamdani. It wouldn't be Mamdani.
No, if Mamdani's not on if Mamdani's not in the debate.
Gotcha. We got to leave it there. All three of you, thank you very much. It's a wild ride. Okay, Jeff. Good luck. Long time here.